Hi everyone, welcome back to meditation class. Today is day 20, which is wild, of the Activate Meditation Challenge that we have been hosting all month here, December 2022. If you're watching this in real time, it's December 20th. So tonight we're doing the Inner Child Healing Journey meditation. We've been talking about it and we're finally ready for it. So I'm excited. But again, we're going to be easing into the journey meditations. So briefly for a moment, we're just going to talk a little bit about journeying and what that means. And then I'm going to talk to you about what we're doing tonight as far as the meditation, and then we'll go into our practice. For the journey meditation and the journeys that we're going to do throughout the rest of the challenge, this is a practice that you can do while you're lying down. So what I love is to do this lying down on the floor, like making yourself a really cozy, comfy place with maybe a yoga mat, some pillows, a blanket. You can do this on your bed, but I feel like sometimes if we do a journey on our bed, um, that's a place that we often are sleeping. It's our bed. So we people tend to fall asleep and then we're dreaming. And that's a whole different thing, which is beautiful too. And sometimes we need to experience things in our subconscious. And I talk about this all the time with my students and in this practice, in this challenge, everyone experiences it differently. So sometimes we do fall asleep, and that's totally okay too. But what we're trying to work up to eventually is being able to have like a lucid experience, have a cognizant experience. I have a trouble pronouncing that word. Cognizant experience, where we're like conscious of what's going on, so that we're being able to perceive the information we're receiving. And then what we really want to do is have a journal and write down our experiences afterwards, because like a dream, this stuff floods in real quick and then we forget it all 5 minutes later. So, and oftentimes it's signs and symbols and stuff that's not exactly like translatable to us in a conscious way always. So sometimes it's really good to write things down, and then we can kind of do our little personal gnosis research, where we kind of look into what these things mean to us individually, what we experience in the journey. And also sometimes things unfold over time. So for example, and hold on, I'm just gonna put on this is Florida water, I'm obsessed, but I just want to clear my shit before we start. But okay, so here's an example. So in a journey meditation, you might see some weird signs and symbols, some weird imagery, like you're seeing a panther, or maybe you saw like your grandma, or like yourself. Tonight we're going to be focusing on your inner child, so that's what we're going to be focusing on. But sometimes yeah, symbolic information could come through. It could be like literally a symbol, a sign, a sigil. It could be a word. It could be a place, a location, like a number, it's something so random and cryptic, So it's like, what the heck does that mean? So sometimes it's hard to decipher into like a literal sense. What is this that I'm experiencing? But here's the thing. We don't need to do that at all to receive beneficial healing from it. We don't need to know what it means. We don't. That's the hard part, you guys. So that is the fucking crazy. That's a spirituality advance pack. Like, we don't need to fucking know for it to work, for it to be helpful, for it to be insightful, for it to be beautiful. And yeah, like I said, things sometimes unfold over time. So maybe you got some information about some kind of crazy visual, and then down the line you understand and perceive what it means for you. So like dreams, they can be analyze. So, like I said, you can do your own personal gnosis research. So, what I mean by that is like, okay, so I see a Black Panther. What does that mean in my dreams? Like, looking into different symbolism behind that, asking your spirit guides, what does this mean for me? Doing pulling cards, doing divination stuff about it, like whatever your individual practice is, and or journaling. That's the best part. Just asking yourself, what the heck is this about? And then kind of seeing, do I have a random, like, weird association with that? Do I have a random memory that pops up when I think about that? Like, where do I feel it in that my body? Like, not trying too hard to really like push an answer out of yourself, but just like perceiving, what does it mean for me? What does it mean for me? Like, and seeing the first kind of initial thoughts that come up. So, again, I would just kind of journal about it. And then I also wanted to share. So, tonight we're doing an inner child healing meditation. And I went on a walk right before this class after I was at the spa today doing some facials. And then I got part of my inner child healing um, that I was just like guided to do, which is just so funny to me because it comes in the most random ways. And I'm giving you this example because I want people to see it can be like these random, funny little nostalgia pangs. I don't know how to explain them. You're like, that reminds me of my childhood. Um, I don't know if you guys are like familiar with like weirdcore or like like anything like that. The um back rooms and all that stuff, like that's like the kind of creepy nostalgia feeling. This is like a comfortable nostalgia feeling of like, oh, like that really just brings my heart joy and like really brings me back to my childhood. And that is a moment of inner child healing, like these tiny little moments. So like two things. Went to 7-Eleven and so I bought this gum, Hubba Bubba strawberry watermelon. I always used to get this gum as a kid. It's literally green and you like pop bubbles with it and it's like huge and chewy and like hurts your teeth. And I just had this like memory pop up about when I was a child, when I would chew gum and stuff, like, and I would pop my bubbles, and I would, particularly when I would snap my gum, my sibling who I live with, so don't tell them that I'm talking about them on the YouTube, but they would always get mad at me. My family would get mad at me and like yell at me about it, so I would never do it in front of them, or I would like hide the gum and like chew it in my room like at night, and that's never a good recipe for a healthy relationship with food. um, well, this isn't really food. Gum isn't really food, but candy. But you know what I mean. Consuming things like that, and yeah. So I bought this gum today, and I just it brought me back to like a positive memory about chewing it, and not like, and I felt kind of, I like a release a little bit of um sadness about those memories. Like I was just kind of like letting them go and having a new experience. And even though it's literally this was probably 79 cents back in the day, but it's probably like $2 now with the fucking inflation. But this gum, just a little moment. And then also another example is of like how these can kind of just like creep into your day, and you're like, wow, that was kind of funny. Like that was something that I didn't realize like would bring me healing. Buying this gum at 7-Eleven. But I was at the antique store the other day looking for Christmas presents for my mom, and I found these books, and there's this book series. They're in the other room, otherwise I would show you. But there's this book series that I really wanted to buy as a kid, but I never like wanted to ask for it and stuff. And then when I did ask for it, like, it was just one of the things that, you don't need that, you don't need that. Um, and it's these books, like, I forgot what they're called, but it's a bunch of different like supernatural things. The one I bought was the Cosmic series, but there's a whole series of them, and so they have them at the antique store. So My inner child's about to buy those over the next few months, unless other people do. But there's like one on psychic development and psychic powers. I'll show them on the video tomorrow so you guys know what I'm talking about. But it was just like one of those series if you're like a 80s, 90s. I'm 32, so I was born in 1990. So I always wanted these fucking books. And also, fun fact, one of my first books that I ever bought was like called True Witches something. I forget what it was, but it was like a witch book about different spells and like connecting with the moon rituals and the months and Beltane and all the things. Basic stuff. And I really, really wanted it, but I was too ashamed to ask for it. So don't do this. I do not condone this, but I stole it. I still have it. My cat has peed on it at one point when she was a kitten, and I kept it. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this because that's really like not not cool, but I kept it because it was just memories. I I disinfected it the best of my ability with the sun. Anyway, let's not talk about this. But anyway, it's like those kinds of things. Like when I was probably like 12, 13 years old, maybe 14 at the oldest. When I took that book from the bookstore, it's like those are the kinds of things. Like I was too ashamed to admit that I was interested in spirituality and witch stuff, and like we would always go to this bookstore when I was a kid too. And when I was really little, like elementary school, I was not ashamed and I would always ask for the ghost books and I would collect all these different books about paranormal stuff and ghosts. But then once I got into middle school and high school, I thought it was like weird and I know I was perceived as weird for being interested in that. And like then also I started having like scary experiences as far as my mediumship goes and seeing spirits and all that kind of thing. Um, so it's just so cool to me that at the antique store they have these. When I went to fucking Marshall's the other day, they had all these books about tarot and astrology, and I'm just like, it makes me really happy because that my inner child is healing through these experiences of the children now not being ashamed to be interested in these things. And of course, I know there's still families out there that maybe you're not able to be your true self with as it when it comes to like mediumship or spiritual experiences because maybe they don't believe in that or they are really skeptical or they make fun of you or the opposite of like they think you're evil, like maybe they have religious beliefs where they're like that's demonic. Like there's all these perceptions of what it's like to have a spiritual experience, what like even to do a meditation practice, like oh yeah, meditation, like that's the kind of thing that a lot of people put out there, the vibe about it. And I just want to say that like it's okay to um not want to share your spiritual experiences with other people, like, but if it is coming from like a place of like shame, like I encourage you to find some place where you can talk about your experiences openly. So join my meetup, plug, but you could come and talk to us about your experiences or whatever. But there's all sorts of stuff like that, like different meetups. You could come to my classes, look into meditation classes in your local area, look into stuff with mediumship in your local area. I find that if you have a lot of spiritual experiences, it's more than likely than not that you would be a skilled medium. So whether or not you want to use that skill to do readings for people or whatever, but um, I invite you and encourage you to find some place where you can use those skills and connect with people and talk about it openly because I feel like it's so profound and so important for us to heal the shame. And whether you have like literal experiences from your childhood or I don't know why I'm going on this whole rant, but you guys need to hear it because it's channeling through. But whether you have literal experiences from your own childhood centered around shame and spirituality, and maybe you have I know everybody's got that religious trauma. It's rough out there. So I know a lot of people have that, whether or not you were raised in a religious household. A lot of us in America have that just based upon the society that we live in, and the structures. And we're not a Christian nation, but a lot of like our perceptions of what it is to be spiritual is based upon that. So if it's outside of something like a church or a religious practice, it's deemed as evil or dark or bullshit or fake. And of course, there are bullshit, faker, scammer, liars out there who are making us look bad. And that makes it even harder. But I just want us to all be able to be open about these experiences. So I'm just so happy that things are starting to shift around people's perspective and beliefs around these types of things. And it's not about religion. And I think sometimes we can have a touchstone, a base of connection and understanding with people who might have a religious belief system, because they can kind of understand what that feeling is the Holy Spirit, that energy. That's unconditional love, babe. So it's the same but different. And so yeah, I'm just glad we are healing as a generation. It's obviously we've got a lot more work to do, babes. We've got a lot of more work to do. So let's start with ourselves tonight, and let's start with connecting with our inner children. So briefly, because I just talked for more than I had planned to, because of course I just have things that I have to share, and I hope that they're insightful and helpful for someone, or at least you can relate. But briefly, before we get into the practice, for this practice, again, you're going to be lying down, so finding that comfortable place. I'm just going to kind of talk just about 2 or 3 minutes about what is the journey and what we're going to be doing. So we talked a little bit about journeying so far, but I just want to reiterate, sum it up in case people haven't done the other practices, or just to kind of sum it up again. I like to beat the information into you because and let's reframe that. Let's not say beat the information into you, because I feel like I want to repeat the information into you. Okay, let's take that. Let's cancel, clear, delete that. um but yeah, that's just like, again, it's reframing. It's like these are the things that you hear again and again, these phrases, like, but what do they mean? Like the other day I was watching Gilmore Girls remake, and they were saying like Shanghai, and I was like, okay, babes, we should not say that. What are we saying? And it's just like we say these things that we've heard a million times, and oftentimes we don't understand where they come from or what the meanings of them are. So our words are powerful, our words are spells, all the things. And I think yeah, we're just a product of our environment. So if we don't understand where our environment comes from, how are we supposed to bring healing to the situation? So sometimes it's like learning about history and things like that. I'm going to go off on one more quick little tangent. It's like for me right now, I'm listening to this book, audible book. Okay, sorry, things are popping up, so I hope I'm okay. But I'm listening to this audio book on Audible. It's called Jesus and John Wayne, and it's talking about like how white evangelicals corrupted a faith and fractured a nation. This is what it's called. I want to do a book club on this or something for my podcast, but I'm learning a lot right now through this book about some of the histories connected to the church and aspects of evangelicalism, because my family history is more connected to Catholicism, and there is a lot of intermingling, of course, but this is more about like the politics and almost like celebrity culture and Hollywood and stuff. Like they're talking about kind of like specifically John Wayne converting and a lot of different born again Christians, like in the kind of like um 60s, 70s, and it goes more into the history and how that's connected to what's going on now. And so for me, I think that's one, I'm just fascinated. I'm like, that's so interesting. But it's also, I think, really cool to not cool because of course it's like fucked up, but very interesting to see the connections between so many different parts and aspects of our society, again, as America, that is supposedly not a religious nation, is supposedly is a democratic nation. And I'm not a politician, so like let's not get too deep. um but yeah, everything's connected, and there's little aspects of spirituality that can be used for not positive things. So magic can be light and can be dark, negative, positive, whatever. I don't like to, binary it out, but it can be used either way. So religion can be used either way, connection to God can be used either way. So I think what's important about coming to a class like this is learning to create your own connection. You don't need someone to tell you how to have a relationship with God. God, source, spirit, universe, higher self, whatever fucking word you want to call it, is fine with me. But yeah, we had to talk about that. So let's get into the meditation, because we've been talking for a little longer than I thought. Once I open up the energy, there's just things that have to be said. And also, yeah, I did get the Diet Coke. Diet Coke's more of an inner teenager healing thing for me, but let's not get into that. So, what is a journey? So, the idea with the journey is we're not astral projecting, we're not leaving the body, we are entering the body, going deep into the body, and our mind and our subconscious and like our heart energy, our emotions, like we're going into a different dimension, different field of energy. We're able to perceive and have different experiences. So you can go to many different places in a journey, and it's basically about setting the intention. So the idea with the journey is that we are using visualization and other different techniques to go through like a portal, essentially. So we're going to use like the imagery of walking through a forest or going through a doorway or something where we're going from one place to the next to enter into this subconscious state where we are connecting with whatever our intention is. And then from there, we're just kind of hanging out and letting the experience come to us like a dream. We're not trying, we're just there. It's coming to us. We're receiving it, we're perceiving it, rather than a strict visualization would be we are creating it. I'm going to create a imagery again for us to walk through. Then we're going to open up the space and the journey's going to come into you. So you're going to be perceiving it however you do individually. So yeah, it's like, as opposed to reading a book where we're creating the images in our mind as we read the text, we are watching a movie. We're just turning it on and the images are in front of us and we're just watching it. It's kind of how I would like explain it. So again, everyone's going to perceive it differently. This is going to be our first journey. We did a little bit of the similar kind of things with the holy fire meditations and some of the other practices we've done throughout the challenge so far. But this is going to be our first like official journey. So this one's going to be a bit shorter. This one's going to be about like 10 to 12 minutes. We want to start with a short one so we can experience what it's like. Then we're going to go longer. So tonight's going to be kind of an intro again to send healing to our inner child. We're going to have that experience, and then we're going to come out of it. And then tomorrow we're going to go deeper. And then on the 22nd, we're going to do our solstice meditation. Then we'll be back to some journey stuff for the rest of the challenge. And then, so little manifestation practices at the end of the challenge for New Year's, setting intentions, resolutions, all the fun stuff. But yeah, I had to give you guys a whole little story time in the beginning. So hope you enjoyed. I will put timestamps on all these videos eventually. I told you guys this the other day, but I will be going through everything and doing that and telling you where the meditations begin. So if you want to go back to certain meditations, you don't have to like scroll through my whole spiels and channel musings. So excuse me. I want to cough, but I have like the mic right there. I'm so sorry, guys. I know that's like the worst. But yeah, let's start. I'm gonna give everyone 2 minutes to get comfortable. If you're watching this later, you can just pause and get comfortable. Again, you're gonna be lying down. If you can have a pillow under your head, maybe something underneath your knees to just like prop yourself up, like make yourself like wide and comfortable. And yeah, we'll start another minute and a half. And I'm just going to be, again, starting with the visualization. We're going to go into about 10, 12 minutes, 10, 12, 15 minutes. And then we'll come out of it, and then we'll talk about more of it, more of that deeper stuff tomorrow. So yeah, everyone relax, closing your eyes. And let's just begin with a few deep breaths, just kind of checking into the body, bringing presence into your body. You don't need to change the way you feel. It's just about acknowledging. That's what we mean by presence. How do I feel right now emotionally? How do I feel right now physically? How do I feel right now spiritually? How do I feel right now mentally? So breathing in through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Take 3 deep breaths at your own pace, breathing in and release. So in your mind's eye, just do your best to imagine the words I'm describing. And to begin, we're just going to set our intention. So as we do a journey meditation, we want to always set our intention. Where are we going? And what are we doing? So tonight, our intention is going on a shamanic journey into the inner heart to connect with our inner child, to send them healing, So we want to just say this in our mind or out loud 3 times. So saying, and you can repeat after me or saying it on your own pace. Tonight, our intention is to go on a shamanic journey to the inner heart to connect with the inner child to send them healing. You can say and connect with my inner child. Either way. Tonight, our intention is to go on a shamanic journey to connect with the inner, through the inner heart, to connect with the inner child, to send them healing. Tonight, our intention is to go on a shamanic journey through the inner heart to connect with our inner child, to send them healing. Take a deep breath. Well, just take a moment here. Perhaps you have a specific memory or a specific age that you want to connect with. You don't need to. Just setting the intention that whoever wants to come forward, whatever part and aspect of yourself, to receive healing from you in this time and this space, comes forward in the journey tonight. Whether you perceive them as physical, as an image, as emotional or mental, or as nothing at all, we ask that this energy is sent directly to that version of ourself throughout all time and space, all dimensions and pocket dimensions. All memories and time banks. Imagine now standing on a marble floor, and it's cold. You can feel the wind on your hair, on your face, on your arms. And you see large, beautiful pillars surrounding you, almost like you're in a museum. Sacred healing temple of the inner heart. Imagine the energy of this space flowing up through the bottoms of your feet. Imagine what it would feel like if you were standing on marble floors. Feeling the energy of the stone flowing up through your feet. In the center of the room in front of you, you see a beautiful fountain. With liquid healing light. It looks like shimmering blue iridescent water rippling back and forth through the fountain with ornate, beautiful mermaids and different statues surrounding it. It feels like the most familiar, yet ethereal and unknown and mysterious place you've ever been. And this is where we're going to meet our inner child tonight. a sacred place to feel safe, where you can meet and be comfortable, a place without time, a place unaffected by time and space, a place of infinity and always that you can access at any point in time to receive healing for your inner child, for yourself at any point in time, in any lifetime or memory. In front of the fountain, you see two small chairs. Imagine walking in front of the fountain, hearing the sound of the trickling water. And sitting down now at these chairs. In the center of the chairs, between the space between the chairs, is a small table. On top of the table is some beautiful gold ornate plates filled with clear quartz crystals, transformation healing stones, allowing you to access healing energy for yourself and this version of yourself, your inner child. So tonight we ask to invite forward this version of you, your inner child, to meet you in the temple of the inner heart, meeting you now at the table with the gold plates and the crystals and the beautiful plush chairs, and you're seated there. We're going to stay here a few moments. Imagine now this version of you, your inner child, walking forward into the room. Maybe you can feel them. Maybe you can imagine what they would look like. Maybe you remember exactly that outfit and those pants. Oh my gosh. And maybe you don't feel anything, but just allow whatever wants to come up for you tonight. I'm going to have you imagine that inner child walking up and sitting next to you, seated on the plush chairs. And I want you to imagine each of you grabbing one of those clear quartz crystals from the table and placing them in your hands. And as you do so, the energy from these crystals flows to each of you, creating a vortex of healing. So as you send healing to yourself now, as you receive healing for yourself now in this time, the energy begins to flow in a circle from your heart to theirs, a heart portal, heart connection, to send healing through all time and space. So we're going to stay here about 5 minutes, allowing you to have your own experience in the journey with this version of you and with this healing energy. And in 5 minutes, I will call you back from your experience. allowing whatever comes up, any random thoughts, any smells, colors, feelings or sensations in the body, just like taking note, trying to observe yourself and your experience, allowing it to flow to you. Continuing your experience for however long you're guided. Just taking a few moments to breathe into your body. Breathing in the nose, exhale out the nose. I'm going to breathe for about 2 minutes, just kind of sensing and feeling our body again. Breathing in. Continuing your breath, imagining this version of yourself, your inner child, standing up and placing the crystal back on the table. And you feel a sense of completion, at least for the moment. And they feel so comfortable. They feel happy and joyful. Maybe emotions came up. Maybe emotions were released. But there is gratitude for the experiences that came through, the memories, and the healing. Imagining this version of yourself giving you a hug, placing their hand on your heart, and you place your hand on theirs, feeling their heartbeat as your heart beats, and knowing that it's the same heart. It is the same heart in their chest as in yours. And knowing you are always together. And when they feel alone, they always can call on you to meet into the heart space, the inner heart chamber, the temple of the inner heart. And you guys saying goodbye, saying your final goodbyes for tonight. And again, always knowing you are connected. You are each other. You are one, literally. Imagine now standing back at the fountain and looking at the water. Taking in your surroundings and knowing again, this is a place you can always come back to. Imagine now coming back into your body, back into presence in the moment. Any energy we moved or shifted, we ask to be released into the light, buried deep into the earth to be recycled, renewed, and become usable energy, fed to the earth as life force, life source. Thank you. Imagine the room that surrounds you, feeling the sensation of your body against the ground or against the chair or the bed or wherever you are doing this practice. Just bring your awareness. I am back in my body. I am back in my body. I am my body. You can begin to slowly move your physical body, doing circles with your wrists, one direction and the next. Stretching your hands over your head, stretching your hands out, sweeping them down your side. Bring your hands to your stomach. Take a deep breath here. Release. Bring your hands sweeping down your legs. Just reminding yourself, I am in my body. I am in my body. Bring your hands to the top of your head, just giving your head a little squeeze. Scratch that scalp. Shake your head from side to side, up and down. Bring your hands to your heart, giving thanks to yourself for showing up for this practice, giving thanks to all the energies that came to support us tonight, giving thanks to our inner child for allowing us to have this experience and to share this healing energy and to be open to receive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When you all are ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Take a moment to please journal about your experience. I'm going to let everyone just go and do that now. We'll be back tomorrow and we're going to go deeper into some journey stuff. I hope you had a great experience. Please let me know about it. I would love to hear about your experiences. Yeah, one thing that came in real quick, and then, yeah, please just journal and jot this all down, anything you want to remember. But one thing that I thought was funny is there's like this meme going around that was saying, like, I can't believe this is the same body that I see in my childhood photos. And that was just something that like popped into my mind, like, oh yeah, like it really is the same body. And that's just like a funny way that we can relate to things, is realizing I it is my heart. We are the same. We are connected. So yeah, that was very beautiful. Thank you for joining me for Activate Day 20, you guys. We have 11 more classes, 11 more practices. So we're slaying, we are killing it, we are killing it. So I will see you in the next class. Bye.